Alrighty, welcome back. We are up to, I like to say, the third 50 years. So what I've done is I have broken up our steps into 5 equal steps. Let me turn my phone down real quick. 5 equal steps to get us to 250 years of the anniversary of the USA. And so right now we are on year 150, so we're at phase three. Um, you can call it whichever you want to. Phase three, year 200, 150, third 50 years. So this is where we're at. This is the quilts along. What you see on the board right here is what we completed on phase two, or the second 50 years. What's behind me is what we did the first 50 years, or phase one, and now we are up to phase three. So we are going to jump right into it. What you're going to need for this is you're going to need 4 of these little beauties, and you're going to need 5 of these. I knew I had an extra one right here somewhere. And these are what I just finished from my Bear Paw Productions, the triangulations. So here's the paper. Hang on. Let me get that in there. Here's the paper. Here's what it looks like after you get it cut out. Here's what it looks like after you pull the papers off. All nice and purty. Remember, we're going to do a 1 stitch length, which is going to create that perforations, which is going to allow us to be able to pull that off, just like that. And then once you get to this stage, then you're going to iron it. And for this project, you can iron open or you can iron to the dark side. I personally, for this one, even though it doesn't matter, I like to iron open. It just creates a nice flat seam, and so that's my preference. Okay, so let's see here. We're going to stick on the tabletop. Get that ready. Okay, and then so here's our layout for today. So we're going to lay out 1 square right there. We're going to lay out 1 square with the white tip pointing up to the right side, just like that. Here, I'll pull it down just a little bit. And then the next one is going to be one of these squares. And the next one is going to be with the point going down to the left. We're going to run out of space here real quick. Okay. And then the next one is going to be with the point up to the right. So it creates that little valley right there. The next one is going to be point up, same direction. And then we're going to have 1 square. And then point down. How am I doing? I've just run out of room. We're going to move everything over a little bit. And then the last one is going to be just like that. So the gist of this one is, either way you stitch it down, when you flip it, it's going to work for both. So we're going to make 20 of these. You need 20 of these. Okay? So I'm going to show you the picture because, of course, you can see it anyways. Hang on, let me just kind of make this easier to see. You can see it in the pictures that I have sent so far. All right, so the first one that we did was this one, this section right here. And if you looked on the board, that's what you would see up there, is that right there. What we're going to do next is this part right here, and you're going to attach it to this. So you should have 20 of these, which look like this. Okay, you should have 20 of these. And then when we get done sewing these together, then you're going to attach it just like this to the top of here. Where it's going to start creating that star. There it is right there. See how the points go all the way around in the same direction? Okay, it might be a little hard to see right now because we're going to get to work on it. Alrighty, let's do that. Let me get my mouse out of the way. How are we doing? Does anybody have any questions so far? Okay. So we're going to start all the way over here on this side. And we're going to put it right there. And I'm going to pin it just so I make sure that I'm going to stitch on the correct side. Grab the pin. Because it can get easy to get turned around. Okay. Now let's go ahead and bring it over. And then get my tabletop ready. Okay, and I'm actually sitting down to sew today because my knee is giving me trouble again. I had to tape up my knee again. I need to get over to Miss Claudine's. I realized after coming back from vacation that I have completely forgotten about something I was supposed to pick up from her. Okay, we're going to take the next two pieces right here, flip them over. I'm going to hold my fingers right here so I know which side I'm working on. And then we're going to come back over here. I bet y'all noticed I found the fade button. A lot of what I learn about technology, it's really from trial and error. And sometimes I'm just a little bit nervous about touching on things that I don't know anything about. That was not what I was trying to do. Back over here. We're going to grab two more pieces and flip them over. And I'm going to grab this edge because this is the edge I'm sewing. And then we're going to come back over here. Nope, not there. Dang. And there. Okay. As you can tell, I am sitting down currently. Okay. And then we're going to take those two pieces. I'm going to stick my fingers right here on the corner. Miss Jerry, you still hanging with me? I hope you're feeling good, sweetie. I missed y'all while I was gone. Still not. All right, now, to be fair, I do want to make sure that I am making sure that this part right here is my bottom, and this is my top. Okay, let me get back over here. So I've got these two pieces. And then I got the next one. That's these two pieces. And this one, which is these two pieces. And what you can do is lay this one out, and however you have that's going to go this way, that's going to go this way. All right, so yeah, this one's going this way. We're going to have this one go this way, which actually works out really well. This one's going this way, this way, this way. Yes. This one's going this way. So we're going to have this one going this way. So we're going to turn the seam and have it go this way because these are going to nest. Okay. So this way. And then the last one. Same thing. It's going this way. So we can just go ahead and put it just like that. So this one is going this way. Okay. And then we can start stitching these together. I'm going to put these two, and then the last one to go on will be this one. So let's grab these and come over here. Thank you, Miss Jerry. I'm glad to see you're still with me. Okay, so we're going to put those first two together. So these were the first two. The more I look at that grunge fabric, the more I absolutely love it. The more I love it for this project. It just reminds me of an old or an antique flag. And some of the nice things you can add to it would be if you were to add like the names inside the center of the stars that we're doing. Add a name like, you know, my son was in the military. He was in the Marines. You could put, I could put his name and underneath it put Marines. I could even put a date, the dates that he um, was in the Marines. Okay, we're not going to switch over. We're just going to keep working from right here. I only have one more piece. So this one, and then I got this one piece right here. And we're going to take it. This was the bottom one. Point down, point up. Yep. So we're going to put this together like this. So you can see me. We're going to put this together like this on the bottom. And then snip this off. Okay. And we know we can fold that open. And of course, I got my little wood iron right here. Kind of crease it down based on how I kind of pushed it down with my fingers earlier. Yeah, that's good. this way, 2, good. And then this one, yeah, that works out perfect. Okay, and then we're going to put these 2 together, and then that's the whole line right there. Okay, I'm going to flip this around only because it's easier to do it that way. Just like that. I feel like I might have stitched over just a little too far, but I guess we'll find out. Okay, now I'm going to flip it back around and see this way, perfect, that way, this way. And what I'm doing is I'm looking at my other piece that's lined up over there. And then I am just kind of giving a little stretch, just a little push. And then, has anybody ordered one of the So Easy tables? I got one for my Mother's Day gift for my kids, but I haven't heard hide nor hair of them since I placed the order back at the very beginning of May. Here we are almost to the end, and I just haven't even heard from them. So I just wondered if anybody else has any experiences like that. Maybe you could share a good idea. Okay, so let's take some pins. We're going to pin this together and then sew this to the next piece. Okay, so based on how we did the fold, we're just going to start pinning it down. And these should nest if we've managed to get the seams going the right way with our wood iron. Normally we have Sheila on here, but she's out of town right now. Oh, hello, Miss Susan is on. Miss Quilting Susan. And Tina. So glad you guys made it. Gosh, I was feeling kind of lonely. Miss Jerry was keeping me company. Don't worry, I will have the email out to you. Actually, you may already have the email for this. I'm not sure. I apologize. My graphics or my little symbols, shapes and stuff are a little wonky in the directions, but hopefully you guys can understand them and read them okay. Okay, and we're going to pin that together. I'm going to go ahead and just make sure that this stays lined up right there. And we'll do that for the same on the other end, since it doesn't have a seam to line up with. All right, let's take this back over to the table. And let's get this sewn. So glad you guys joined us. Oh, I'm so glad, Miss Tina. I did not know that. For some reason, it didn't show me anybody on here, unless you're maybe anonymous or something, which is fine. Of course you can. I don't have any problem with that. I just like to know who's on so I can say hello. I love to say hello. All right, so let's get this stitched on here. Checking my cameras, make sure they're all in place, because usually Sheila's the one that keeps me straight on that, but she is unavailable at the moment. She sent me a message, let me know she would make it on today. All right, and here we go. As you can see, I've got a little bit of a lump here, which probably came from Oh, and it wants to flip over. Let's get that straight and make sure everything else is good. Tina, I loved your picture of your sourdough bread. I'm still waiting for my loaf. Of course, I bet you your family pretty much eats up all that wonderful sourdough before it ever makes it even a couple of days in, which is good because that's another pin. I swear I keep popping them right off. Um, Homemade bread doesn't last nearly as long as the store-bought stuff. We won't go into why, but there we go again. Sometimes I pull those pins off, and they just fling clear across the room. I heard it hit the floor, but I'm not sure where. Usually when I'm standing, I can see it, but I did not see that one. All right, let's go back to the tabletop. And then I have my camera ready for the next screen. Ugh. Okay. Here, let's go ahead and show you. We're going to turn it this way because I've been working as if this is the top. So let's keep that going. Hang on. Ah! Get out of there. I hit something and my screen went white. But yikes. Okay, so as we reveal our beautiful top half, we have one more section to do in the center. All right, let me get my little iron down here. Probably should have ironed it somewhere in between, but I didn't. I love it. It gets caught on these little holes. It's kind of why I do like a solid sole plate, because then it doesn't get caught on those and it doesn't lump up or push them around or bruise them or turn them black. Because sometimes they'll mark up the fabric. Okay. Now remember, you're going to do this 20 times. We're going to make this whole section 20 times, and we're going to add it to the rest of the tops that we finished. And these are the tops right here. And you're going to add it to it just like this, because no matter which way you turn it, this will be the bottom. This will be the bottom of the star. This will be the top of the star, and we'll have one more section right here in the center. Okay? And for those of you who get my email, you will get the next one. And if you purchased the pattern in my Etsy shop, I will upload the update, and you'll be able to just download it. If you already purchased it, you should be able to just download the new page. I'll put it as a separate update in the shop in that particular pattern. So you just pull up the pattern and go ahead and download the next page. Okay, there we go. I don't know if you can see it, but there's star number 1, there's part of the next star, and here's part of the next star. And there's going to be 8 stars total around. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 stars that create a circle that are, and there are 10 of these blocks. So basically we're making 20 of these to make 10 blocks. And there's one more section in the center. We're going to tackle that next week. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? Any wonderful, beautiful questions? Because that's pretty much the end of it. And I am sweating my buns off. I do with my napkin? Hmm. Mm-mm-mm. Alrighty, let's get up here back to the. Sorry, y'all. I love these shirts, but they always feel a little weird on my. They're lady shirts, and they always feel a little weird on my arms. I sometimes like prefer the men's, except they don't have the V in the men's tops. So I like the men's because the nice and oversized in the arms, but I don't care for them being right up around my neck. And then the ladies have the nice V, but the arms are a little small. So neither here, a half dozen, whatever. All right, let's see. Just checking to see if we have any questions. Okay. And I do not know. I don't know. My comments are acting a little weird. Anyways, thank y'all for coming and joining me today. We're gonna do just a quick prayer time. Um, you guys are always in my prayers. I pray for you guys for your health and for happiness and for light in your lives. And for our nation, that's always at the top of my prayer list. Um, but today it's rather simple. The Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord cause his face to shine upon you and give you mercy. There's a whole lot more to that, so feel free to look it up. I can't remember which verse, where it's at right now. I think it's in Numbers. Um, but I hope that you have grace and mercy this week. I pray that you have a guiding light and that your angels protect you and take great and wonderful care of you this week, and that we can join again next Sunday and have a wonderful short meeting because I hate keeping you guys on for very long. Um, and you are wonderful, and you guys keep me going. And I just hope that you have a lot of wonderful things going on this summer. So take care of yourselves. Love y'all. Mwah.